Kia ora and talopa geniuses, and welcome to the Digital Warriors vidcast. In this episode, we are honoured to welcome a true tohunga in the realm of sports medicine and integrative healing, Dr. Navin Hettiarachchi. Dr. Navin has spent over 2 decades working behind the scenes with elite athletes including teams from the NFL, NBA, WNBA and Olympians. His unique approach to the REDT method has revolutionized how we review healing, focused not just on symptoms but on the whole being. From his beginnings in Washington DC to his global impact, Dr. Navin's work embodies the essence of holistic wellness, blending traditional knowledge with cutting-edge science. He's here to remind us that you are the healer, and your journey to wellness is both personal and powerful. Join us in this episode as we delve into his insights, stories, and the wisdom he's gathered from years of dedication to healing and performance. This is more than a conversation whānau, it's wānanga. It's a learning session that could really transform your perspective on health and self-care. So let's get this conversation started. Thank you so much for being here with me, Dr. Navin. I really want to know about your story. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey and your mission?
Yeah, thank you, Jas. Journey really started in Sri Lanka. I always go back, even though I've been in America for 30 some years. It's really started from Sri Lanka, and until I was there to school until I was age 14. So I embrace my culture. I embrace my roots. I embrace my foundation. Um, and that was the journey about being the best version of myself. I want to challenge myself, be the best version of myself. I thought I was going to be a cricketer. I thought I was going to be an Olympic athlete. Then I came to America, just start learning English. Then, my goal was to go to college. So I had these um these goals that I want to accomplish. Then when I went to college, I'm like, check. Then then I was like, oh, I want to be a sports medicine person. I did that. Then I said, oh, I want to work for the a football team. It's an American football team, like Australian rules football. It's an American football team in Washington. I want to work for that. Then so it was a goal accomplished, a goal accomplished. And now my new goal is really to share and empower people. I really understand now is that health and healing comes within us, and you don't really go to the doctor to get healed, but you go to the doctor to get the to understand how to turn on the healing power within us. So now, kind of line that, before I worked with 15 millionaire athletes, NBA team have 15 athletes, all of them are millionaire. I've worked with 15 millionaire athletes, but now I want to help 15 million people, right? That's, kind of the journey that I'm at. I'm with you. I want to spread and share this information. We are traveling from Middle East to Sri Lanka to South Central America or USA, just sharing and empowering and really giving the information how we can be the healer within us. So that's the journey. The journey is really evolving. As I'm evolving, I really understand. Oh man, this is my purpose. This is my dharma, and this is where I get my juice, my energy. uh how why What's my why, what's the reason that I want to get up in the morning or stay late at night to study, to learn, to pick up the phone anytime patient calls. That's my journey. My journey is to help people empower, help people when they have no solution. They have gone to multiple doctors, multiple MRIs, multiple pharmaceuticals. When that's not a solution and they are not happy with how they feel, That's my journey and my purpose to help them. And I love it. It's just so awesome to see the patient, the person doing the work. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I am riding the bicycle. Not the doctor, not my mom, not my wife, not my kid. I'm riding the bicycle and just so empowered and so excited and so happy and really living and thriving.
Wow, I absolutely love that. I have to ask because there's been so much joy and passion and discipline and determination throughout your journey. Where does that come from? What is it about Naveen that just sparks all of that?
I think I want it's me first. So I That's a great quote by Ramdas. We're here to walk each other home, right? So what that really means is that everyone want to cross the street. In order for us to cross the street, somebody got to go there and say with the torchlight or whatever, they got to find a way to cross the street, right? So I take pride in myself figuring out, let me cross the street. Then I come back and help my wife, my mom, my dad, my neighbor, my patient, my sister, my brother, whoever needs to get on the cross. I say, hey, look, across the street, it's fine, it's safe. I'm gonna guide you. I got you. Hang with me. I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. So that's the mission. I went on the journey. I figured out you know and I'm gonna walk them through. Some people say, no, you know what, no, it's not for me. Fine. If you're ready, whenever you're ready, I'm there for you. So I am we're just helping each other cross the street, you know and it's a fun project. It's really a fun project. um Really understanding that is really my involvement, my growth, which I really learned, Jazz, that we are here in this earth to evolve ourselves, right? Before it was before COVID, before I left the NBA. I had the same job before that for the last 17 years. I thought it was like, hey, I'm the doctor. It's me helping the patient. Oh, my life is all about the patient. My life is all about others, others, others. So I was really good at what I did. But now, the COVID, all of us kind of like shifted. I left my job. I really went inside to evolve myself. The more that I evolve myself, I really, really, really understand that more that I evolve, the more that I can serve. So in
Yeah.
order for me to give, it's really starts within me. The other day, a patient asked me like, what, like, I cannot remember the question, but my answer was, you know what? I'm just listening to you. The more that I can quiet my heart, now my brain quiets. Now I could hear you. Now I could. Oh, she was asking me how I came to, like, how no doctor was able to figure it out, because she's going to all these doctors, got all these lab work. And why did I really get the answer like right there easily? So I said, it's really me working on myself, learn to be present to my patient. I learn to be here for my patient. I learn to be quiet for my patient. But in order for me to hear the patient, I got to quiet my mind. I got to turn my ego down. I got to turn my fear down. So it's my work, doing my inner work. Now I get to see the patient. I get to hear the person. I get to sense the patient. So we always about my mentors like, oh, we want to make the world a better place. We want to do all this. Great, but how is this house? So the more that I evolve, the more that I meditate, the more that I work on myself, now I could tell the patient, hey, I am healed, I am whole. Now the authenticity comes through. Now I could really say that I believe in what I do. If not, it's just, so the more that I work on myself, the more that I can help the patient. And I think the patients understand. The kids understand. It's like all of us walk into a room or somebody come into a room, you're like, oh my God, the energy is dark. Oh, that person have a bad attitude or vibration. We feel that, right? So
Yeah.
when a person stands in front of me or sits in front of me, like they feel it. And when a person, the person get to talk it out, and that one sentence, that one word gives me the exact answer that the no other doctor been able to figure out for the 5 years or 10 years or whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, universe, divine, God, like the answer's right there.
Yeah.
So the journey is really working on myself, and the mission is whatever I work on, you know, help people get across the way. I go on the journey first, then help people get to the other side. Fun
Wow.
journey, fun mission. Yes.
Very powerful too. That's almost like a deep analysis on what authenticity really looks like and how it shows up. So that's absolutely amazing. You started Navin Health. Why did you start that? What inspired you to do that?
Um, I think I love the word, the authenticity. Where when I was working for the MBA, again, like I felt like it was me doing the work. It was me mobilizing the ankle, or me as a functional medicine doctor giving the supplements, or me looking at their sleep data or their heart rate and giving it to the patient. Naveen helped was like, oh my God, it's not me. I am 1%. The patient is 99%. So the Naveen Health started from wanting to give the tools to the patient. It's not me healing. The more that I give the tools for you, yes, maybe one day I could help you with your ankle or your sleep or your gut or whatever for that week or that month or that year. But in order for me to help you in the long term, I gotta empower you with the cause of it and the treatment with it, preventative care. So that's how Naveen Health started that. I want to give you all the tools. I want to give you the possibilities, right? So now, if you have an injury, most likely you go to the doctor, you take an MRI, and then like, oh, you got to have surgery, or you got to take this pharmaceutical, or you got to do this. Pretty much one way. Naveen helped us a way, okay, we have that one way, but there's three other ways, or there's another way. So I want to give every client, every athlete, that's another possible solution, not just one way. Okay,
Mm,
nothing wrong with a leave, but you know what? There's something else that we can take, something else that we can do. Yes,
yeah.
there's evidence behind it, there's ancestral behind it. Also, we can do n equals 1. We can treat you, and we can check you. We can check your heart rate or blood pressure or blood work and see how that affects you. So it's really personalized medicine and personalized testing for that individual. And again, based on science, based on evidence, based on ancestral wisdom. So it's combining allopathic, homeopathic, quantum medicine, bringing in every single thing.
Wow. It's exciting to me because I know of some of what you speak, just coming through the work myself. I'm concerned as a mother that the knowledge and information that you want to share so passionately isn't so readily available without a lot of time and money. So, number one, I just want to say thank you for saying that and even being here, because that kind of stuff is really important to me. As a Maori, as a Samoan woman on this side of the world in Aotearoa and New Zealand and in Australia, you talked a little bit before about your roots, going back to your roots, which reminds me of whakapapa. That is our genealogy, where we come from in Māoridom, and it's important to our identity in Sri Lanka. And you know some of my story too, and how I've come through and how we've met, as well as our love of Dr. Joe. But I did want to ask you, how does cultural understanding, whether that's in the culture itself or the religion of the culture or the cultural way, like how does that cultural understanding actually impact our well-being?
So again, your culture, my culture, we could talk about Native American, we could talk about Maasai. Um, During COVID again, I think we were very uh, woken up by Maasai. So that time in 2022, the whole America shut down, the NBA shut down. Then the only country that we could travel from America was Tanzania. Me and my wife, we go to Tanzania, and we spend time with Maasai people, and we know that evidence shows that Maasai people had the healthiest gut microbiome, right? And we go there, we are looking around, here in America, everyone's going to the hospital, wearing masks, 6 feet spreading, all are dying, right? Fear of death. And this culture in Tanzania, they're thriving, right? And we are talking to them, sometimes to a translator, sometimes they understand. We're asking about well-being, and we're asking about disease. And there's the elder, the Maasai culture is like, oh yeah. So every question that I ask about, or sickness or disease, he's going back to, and he's answering through sheep or cows. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, so, but he's kept on going like 3 times. I'm like, hey, tell me about the people getting disease, people getting sick. All 3 times he kept on saying, oh, our horses get sick, our animals die, our goats or sheep get sick, they die. But I was like, no, humans, Jazz. He's like, humans sick. Like, he didn't even understand humans getting sick.
Ooh,
So
wow.
that's a culture of like, then I was like, oh, sick, like sick, no strength. Like, oh, baby, maybe baby gets sick. Women go to the jungle, they get herbs from the trees and they put it in raw milk and they drink it, it's gone, right? So our culture, you know, they didn't really even know a disease. Where now, if you go to, I was talking to my mom was the other day like saying, yeah, every time we go, the whole conversation is around, oh, I'm taking this medicine, I'm diabetes, I have cholesterol, I'm a cancer patient. They embrace, or our people now embrace. So I'm a cancer patient, right? So culturally, my identity is a diabetes person. I eat like this, I sleep like this. I'm going to continue on this for next 50 years, 40 years, 70 years, whatever the amount. Where our ancestors, first of all, we don't get the disease. If you get the disease, the body has a starting point, end point, right? For example, if you have diarrhea, they know somehow there's a bug got into the system. The body's going to heal it either through throwing out or diarrhea. Give it a couple of days, give it an environment. If you don't have an appetite, it's fine. If you need to go sleep for 24 hours, sleep for 3 days, 4 days, it's fine. The body heals, right? We know when they get the flu, they sweat out. It's part of healing. They're burning whatever the bug that got, the virus that got into our body. It's part of healing. But in the culture now, oh my God, you got fever, your heart, you gotta put cold, or you need this. Now, Jess, what happens that you disrupt the natural healing process of the body.
Mm,
One, number two, you add a chemical. So now the body gotta heal from two things. The chemical that you put on, also you disrupting the natural process. Now it got delayed, right? But
mm,
that is what we see on the TV. That is what we see on when we go to the doctor. Compared to our culture, they said, hey, everything's like a paper cut. You are the healer. You leave it alone. Don't poke on the right paper cut. Right? Think about a paper cut. We put a bandage, put some cream, but who heals it? It automatically heals it, right? Every disease, every well-being, it's like that. We are the healer. We heal the disease. So understanding the culture is that understand that all these new diseases, all these started recently, like maybe 1950, maybe it's only 70 years old since the food started being made in a factory, since we started being more indoors, since started having pharmaceuticals, right? So all these diseases started then, but our ancestors, they didn't have these diseases because they were grounding, they were more of a whole health. They were blowing the water, grounding, connecting with the nature, not sitting, right? Sitting is the new smoking, right? Not having that iPad or iPhone or disrupting the sleep circadian rhythm. I mean, think about it. When we come aside, there's no electricity, no phones. They get up when the sun comes out, they go down when the sun goes down, right? And their health was amazing. The 90-year-olds, the how do you say, the chief. So we were with the two villages. The chief was like 80 some years old. He's like so active and just amazing, just so happy. That's
Yeah.
We just came from Belize. I think last time I talked to you was we were in Belize, right? And
Yes.
looking at the culture, our ancestors were happy. The Maasai people were happy. Maori people were happy. Happy, joy. I this person in the gym, he's retired. He said, I'm happy all the time, but when I see my grandkids, I'm joy, right? So there's a happiness and joy. When we get a car and a house and a cupcake, we feel happy. But when we see our wife or husband or kids or grandmother's love, is joy. You cannot express that. No money can buy the joy. So our ancestors was joy of life. They
Mm,
were not happy. That's a bigger word than happy. Their cup was full. So
yeah.
that's why it's so important to understand how they lived and why they lived, and giving and paying it forward and teaching and sharing. That's where the cultures came from. That's where it's so important to understand, like blue zones, right? If you look at all the blue zones, and one of the biggest things is communal eating,
Mm,
hugs, checking on each other. That's the cultural understanding of well-being. Because when you look at those blue zones, one of the biggest things that was communal, cultural,
yeah.
checking up on each other, village, walking together, eating together. That had a huge impact on well-being.
I absolutely love that. How can mental health be a foundation for our physical health, especially in our everyday life now when we think about 2025 and the future and the distractions that are out there? How important is that connection?
Great question. I did not know about this. I knew, but I didn't know how powerful it is, right? Yesterday, I met up with this lady, a WNBA player, and I was telling her one of my biggest tools right now in my toolbox. She's a retired player compared to when I was working with her 10 years ago, is really understanding the computer, this brain computer, how powerful it is, also how powerful that is to healing the body. It is
Yes.
all it is. So I think I always share this story. I remember when I was my first early days when I was working for the Washington Redskins football team, where I used the machine and the machine wasn't really working and turned off, but the athlete got off feeling amazing, right? But how, if the machine is not working, how did they feel so much better? Also, we know that there's stories about the radiation or the chemotherapy, the machines are not working, but the cancer is gone. Not one person, not two people, tens, right? How does every single drug, we could compare to metformin for diabetes or Lipitor for cholesterol, how does the placebo is almost good as the pharmaceutical drug, right? So that means there is a component of mental that affecting that, right? Because placebo is nothing. It's powder, sugar. If the machine is not on, if it's not working, we are getting healed. Something's happening. There's something chemical reaction. So that means our brain, our mind is creating those chemicals for us to heal better, heal right. So in order to heal, is really starts in believing it that it's going to help, right? Um, for your son, for your kids, you could say, "Oh, this pill, take it. This is the world's greatest pill. Take it." And you could give them a placebo or whatever, a candy. They take it, then they're gonna feel better. You could have the world's best pill. You could say, "Oh, I don't know. This athlete took it. It didn't work out for them. I don't think it's right." They take it, even though it's world's best, then it doesn't work for you. So it's really I love Dr. Bruce Lipton's book. The title of the book is Biology of Belief. When
Yeah.
we believe it, right, we get better. The mother's kiss is more healing than anything that we can take, because we believe it. As soon as she gives, we just, we get the dopamine, the serotonin. We just feel so much better. So it starts from the mind. In order for us to somebody from the walker to running, or wheelchair to the walker, we have to see the B, the end point, right? We have to work from the B to A. We gotta believe that I can do it. We gotta believe that um, I'm gonna do it. We gotta believe that I'm gonna get healed. And as soon as we believe, the body follows. So it's really the mind dictates what will happen with the body.
Yeah, powerful, super powerful. It's interesting because the next question was, what role does the mind play in healing? But I might skip that one and we'll go to the next one. Do you have any stories that you could share? Any transformative stories where people have really done this inner healing work and use that mind body connection?
Yes, really, every single day. I mean, every single day, from someone who's been taking blood pressure medicine for 10 years, right? Um, this lady could be, I'm 86 years old. She's been taking blood pressure for 10 years. Generally, when you go to the doctor, they give you a pill, but they never take it out, right? Where, I will sit down with the lady. I've been through how to self-regulate the blood pressure, how to self-regulate the heart rate, and instantly she wanted it. She understood the science behind it. She understood the technique, and she practiced every day, and she checked her blood pressure every day, and she's like, "Oh my god, I could lower my blood pressure better than being in the blood pressure medicine." So then she's like, "Oh my god, I don't need it anymore," right? Like this, like same day, right? um or we could talk about, I saw this patient. He was 91 years old, been in a wheelchair for 7 months. And, again, creating an environment, teaching the patient. Obviously, I do my work. I do osteopathic manipulations, chiropractic. And all of a sudden, this, person that's been in a wheelchair for seven months is walking. It's nothing to do with me. I'm loving, I'm guiding, but the intent and the will of the human being, right? We know that there's so many stories about mom able to lift the car or to move the car to get the child out, you know, the person running inside to save the cat or to save the child in a burning house. How do you do that, right?
Yeah.
We have so much. Human beings are so powerful, so great. We have so much within us but I feel like nobody give us the permission, nobody shows us, nobody allows us, and then we follow them, we believe them, and we like, oh, I can't do it. Like this 91-year-old patient, when I was like, you can do it. Like, look, you have the mobility, you have the stability, your ligament is stable. He's like, are you sure I can walk? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I know you can walk. So then, we progress, we're working from, moving the leg in the wheelchair to standing, to balancing, to taking the step, to walking the cane. And, step by step, that he stopped believing it. And all of a sudden, like walking, right? How is that possible? But we believe in, and that's part of my job, is to show patients that we can do it. We have everything that we need. Healer is within us. Yeah, conventional medicine, or when I was working before, I didn't know that. I thought that I was the one that's doing it. Now it's I am 1%, the doctor is 1%, the patient is 99.9999%. Everything. We were designed to have everything. We are the creator of the disease. Again, through the mind, how we behave, how we act. I'm kind of tying a couple of questions. So, most of the time, we see on the TV like, oh, it's, December 20th, the cold season. This is the flu season. You're going to get a cold. You're going to get a cough. All of a sudden, next day, we got a flu and a cough, right? You believe, biology believe, you know.
Wow.
At the same time, we take the pill, or I give the pill, or the doctor give a pill, or you're gonna get better, and all of a sudden we get better, right? I know my patients have taken the wrong pill, they gotten better. Um, Expired pills or the wrong medicine. It's not the medicine, it's our biology of belief, right? We tell the story of ourselves. We think, oh, I'm going to get better in 3 days or 7 days, and we get better exactly based on what we tell ourselves.
That's so powerful. I love how you mentioned the woman that you spoke to said, I can heal myself better than what the medication could do. That
And
is
she
just,
saw it. The
yeah,
evidence is right there, right? Evidence is right there. You know,
yeah.
like that 91-year-old is like, oh my God, the evidence is right there. We don't have to wait 2 weeks or 3 months, right? She checks the blood
Mhm.
pressure, it's whatever the number, she do the technique, and all of a sudden, instantly it's lower. I mean, it's not like at that moment, it's not like she stopped taking the medicine. She's taking the medicine. On top of it, she do the technique, it's lower than, better than taking the medicine. So I don't say not to take the medicine. She's like, oh my God, why do I need to take the medicine when I have the tools for me to heal, right? As a whole.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I become the CEO of my own health. I want to be, patients want to be so empowered. Like, this is all we have, our body, our mind, right?
Hmm.
People want to take care of it. People want to be the best version, but it's not what we are taught as healthcare practitioners to empower the people. We are taught to put that flame down, right?
Hmm.
Then that's another flame somewhere else in a room or the house. But I want to share and show people how to never have a flame in their house. Preventative care.
Hmm.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. There was also a
So
powerful piece that you mentioned, just as your experience as a doctor. You had said, I thought that I was the one who was fixing it. I was it's almost like the rescuer coming. It's okay, I've got the pill or I've got the remedy. And, coming out of that and wanting to empower more people just to have the knowledge so that they can practice exactly the same way that this woman has, and I know I have too, and all of that. So yeah, it's super powerful. Um, would it be fair to say, because I would say this, that there's a little bit of mental resilience that's got to come in there. Like, we're talking about challenging beliefs now. Don't believe everything that you think, or everything you read, or everything you watch, and or even everything that you feel or believe. There's an art in that type of practice, and the word that comes up for me is mental resilience. Would it be fair to say that that is true? And what kind of daily habits can we put in place to help with that mental resilience?
So in conventional medicine, we, the patient in the middle of the ocean, we are just giving them a life vest. We are saying, hey, here's a life vest one for your kidney disease. Here's a life vest two for your cholesterol. Here's a life vest three for your knee pain. Here's a life vest four for your headache. Here's a life vest five for you that you can go to sleep. Here's a life vest six that you have back pain. So now you have seven life vests, but you're still in the middle of the ocean. Now there's no mental resilience because we are like, oh, doctor, right? The two people that we believe is the doctor and our religious leader, right? The monk, the pastor, the guru, whoever, right? They're saying, oh, this is how it is. So now all of a sudden there's no mental resilience. The resilience like, I'm following their guidance. This is what's right. Our ancestors, a doctor of natural medicine, the way that I practice is I say, look, my lady, it's great to be in the middle of the ocean with 7 life vests, 9 life vests, but let's work together. I know you could come to the land where you can sing, dance, jump, run, enjoy life, and not be in fear. What do you want to do? In order for you to were to do that, I need I need you to show up. I need you to meet me somewhere. Or you could be in the middle of the ocean, scared, fear, more life vests, collecting more life vests, and not living, not thriving. Or you could go to the land, sing, dance, thrive, joy of life. It's up to you. So the patient goes, you know what? Dang, my family members sometimes, my patient sometimes like, dang, you know what? I'm happy with summer life vest. I feel good right now. I am safe. I don't want to mess with it, right? Like, I just been here for 10 years. I got 30 more years to go. I could deal with this, like it's okay. I like to be in this box. I'm just like, what? You mean I could sing, dance, jump, have joy of my life and not be in fear? That's another possibility. Let's go. Let's go. Tell me what to do. I got you. Now we figure it out together because they want to do it. That's the resilience. Before, no one told them. They told them that it's okay with the life fast to be in fear, right? Like brain fog, sadness, dark, cloudy. It's part of life, and that's what your mom did, your dad did. Look at your neighbor; they got 9 life vests. Look at your uncle; they got 12 life vests. You only got 7. Look at them; they can walk. They're in a wheelchair. You're fine. You got a cane. You know, it's fine. They got dementia at age 70. Look at you, you at 80. You know, they are they had the heart attack at 50. Look at you, you at 60. So that's the normal way, right? But what I'm saying is that look, I want you to be the CEO of your own health. I want you to know your blood pressure levels, your heart rate. I want to know what you're eating. I want you to know what you're reading. I want you to know how well that you're sleeping. I want you to be the doctor of you. I want you to know more information about yourself more than the doctor, right?
Wow.
So empower information about yourself. Experiment with yourself. That's the resilience because we, the human being, us, we want it so bad to do it for us, but we don't have role models. We don't have doctors or healthcare, our, how do you say, religious leaders telling us, hey, you could do it. You don't have to the notion. You could do it. In fact, this is the way to do it. This is how it should be done. No one says it. So that's why we don't have, it's just 1%ers that um, get to come to the land and dance and sing.
Mm,
Everyone else kind of get inside that cage, and they're looking from outside.
yeah.
Even the doors open, they're scared to get out of the cage. They're scared to step out of the hamster wheel.
Mm, yeah. Wow, there's a lot there, a lot there with the human and ourselves. But some amazing tips there, and thank you so much for even sharing that information because that gives someone like me hope. Especially, it's powerful when you said, I love it when you say be the CEO of your health, but when you said know more about you than the doctor, there have been times where I've certainly sat in, an ER or something, and people have asked me questions about why, I don't know, medical type questions that you would think that they would know. And because I knew about myself more, it was fascinating to them. But I never felt I was allowed to feel that. And to hear from someone who's come from, all of the modalities that you've learned and the experience that you have, and to be the one that says that today, it just, yeah, it gives us sort of more hope and belief in ourselves that when we do know ourselves, we know ourselves really. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Jazz. Like, I grew up in a culture you never question the doctor. In fact, if
Yes,
you question the
yeah,
doctor, like you're breaking the law, right?
yeah.
So you respect the doctor so much, you never question and you believe everything that they said. No, even like my mother-in-law, I'm like, ask the doctor, what's the root cause? Why I got this? What are my other choices other than taking the life vest, the pharmaceuticals, the injection, the surgery? Also,
Mm,
how can I prevent it? And what's the root cause of this, right? Know the root cause, know the prevention, give me all the choices, the three choices. Because right now you only give me one choice. I gotta have a surgery. Okay,
mm,
I could have the
mm.
surgery, but how can I prevent it? Why did this come from? Where did this come from?
Yeah,
You know?
wow.
So speak up about you.
Yeah, I like
That
that,
treatment,
especially
right? I mean,
asking.
I have patients or family members that said, "Oh, I'm taking this medicine because my doctor said it." Also, I'm taking this medicine because my doctor's taking it. So that's the reason. Their reason is doctor said it,
Mm,
or even my doctor taking it. Like, wow, really? Yeah.
okay, wow. Well,
And
that, yeah,
we know that top three, top four causes of death is malpractice, right?
yeah, yes.
Somebody go and see the doctor and they say, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, you got cancer. You're gonna live 8 months," and all of a sudden the patient dies in 8 months. You do the autopsy. Either the cancer's not there because the body healed it, right? Or
Mm,
cancer's not there because it's misdiagnosed, and all of a sudden the patient. Remember, we just talked about biology of belief. They believed they're gonna die, and they died.
mm,
Right? Just like someone said, "No, I'm gonna heal." I'm gonna heal, and they heal. Just like the machine is not working, but they felt the machine being used and they believe they're gonna get healed. Just like the bandage, when we put it, we know that we're gonna get healed. We heal the paper cut. Not bandage was nothing. It's just a
mm.
bandage, it's covering, right? But we are the healer within us.
Yeah, wow. So many amazing tips there. Especially just that belief in ourselves as well, especially with lots of things that have happened in the medical health system over the last few years. Just tying all of that together, is there anything that's on your mind or your heart right now that you wanted to share that's just, that we've missed, in regards to what we spoke about?
My heart right now, it's about know that we are the healer. Know that we are healed, and it's whatever the story that we tell ourselves. You know, if it's in performance, if somebody say I'm gonna lift, 100 pounds, you're gonna lift 100 pounds, right? For example, this is a great story with my wife. She's been doing the deadlift, 135 pounds for a while, like almost like 2 years. We tried different programs, we tried to manage it, but she was like stuck at 135. So she kind of like Okay, 135, which is okay. I'm kind of like there. Then we were somewhere like in Phoenix, and she was lifting, and when we realized accidentally we did the math wrong and we added extra 10 pounds plates. We were doing somewhere, we were, in America we do pounds, and we messed up the math, and we were somewhere and we were doing in kilograms. When we
KG, yeah,
translated, she
it's
was lifting
heavier.
145 pounds. And she couldn't
Wow!
believe it.
I
So
don't
she
even.
thought she was lifting 135. And we
Yeah.
calculated, she's like, no, 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 it can't be right. She was arguing. And I remember it was me, her coach, all of us. Oh, gosh, this is like 145. And we were laughing, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't
Because
even know
we
it, but
didn't even know, because we set the limitation. She set the limitation. Okay, all I could do is 135. And when the doctor said, you know what, you're only going to get better in 8 weeks or 9 weeks or 9 months. Okay, that's it. But we never think that we could get better in 6 weeks or 6 days or 6 months, because we give all our empowerment to the doctor, whoever, and then our thoughts, our biology get adapted to exactly what we say.
yeah. And we've been believing those things for a long, long time. So some of our habits and our beliefs just really need to be
Really,
cut out. Because I'm
absolutely,
thinking,
just
never
like
mind the
that.
4 minute mile. Now we've got the 140 pounds that we thought was like 10 pounds light. And that's a lot because over in this side of the world, I don't know how to measure in pounds. We do kgs. And I do know that that's heavier than pounds. And wow, what a feat, and what a joyful feeling to know that she would have just achieved that victory. And wow, I'm just thinking, I don't even, maybe I need to do powerlifting. Oh gosh, I don't think I could lift that heavy because I'm little. But wow, that's amazing. Again, coming back to like the mind and the beliefs, and then the healing part of it, because your body would have to have grown or been stronger to have physically lifted those extra pounds without knowing it. And I guess that comes
Think
back
about it,
to,
Jazz, right? The Olympic records, people run that, or the same story, the lady moves the car just enough to open the door to get the kid that's in there. Somebody
yeah,
running inside the burning house to save somebody, right? Like, we all of us got that, but
yeah.
we don't give permission. We don't allow us to do that, right?
Mm,
We just like, oh, it's a burning house, we can't go, or the doctor said it's going to take this longer, or doctor said, I would never be able to walk, or doctor said I'll get sick, or the TV programming said, my this disease need this. It's the belief. It's the belief. We give
mm,
our empowerment to somebody else.
yeah, challenge those beliefs.
Challenge those
What's
beliefs. Yeah.
What's one thing that people can say to themselves when, if they catch themselves, if they're able to identify, oh, I think I'm supposed to think about that or challenge that. Like, what's the affirmation or new thought or something that we can say to help interrupt us so that we can lean into that a little more? Because it's hard to stop believing what we believed in and believe in something new.
Yeah. I think that's awareness and consciousness,
Mm,
right? So think about the stove, right? The stove, you put your hand, it got burnt. Next time when you go to the stove, you're double checking to make sure either it's not on or you don't want to put your hand there, right? So what is that? That's the consciousness, the awareness. So if your thought is burning you, so now every time you walk by that thought, just be conscious, just like the stove. In my life, every thought either medicine or poison. That's it. So I guard my thoughts. I'm the thinker of my thought, right? I protect my thoughts so much. I'm like, no, 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 I'm not doing that today. Nope, nope. Change, nope, right? So that's my, yeah, I meditate in the morning, I meditate at night. But me being conscious, every thought is my meditation practice. How am I sitting? How am I walking? Right? Awareness, consciousness. And that's the work that we can do. And that's the practice. And that's the practice that you have to do every day, all the time. It's incredible. As I'm practicing it myself, I could tell you that is the hardest thing. We know that, right? Evidence shows we think about 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and out of those thoughts, about 80 to 90% negative. So that means we think 40 to 50,000 negative thoughts, right? That could be, oh, I'm getting a cold. Oh, I'm not going to have a parking pass. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I won't get this, right? Plan B, plan C, plan D. So who's thinking that? You're the thinker of your thoughts. So change, change, change. Nope, nope, nope. And it's a constant thing. Like at least in my life, it's a constant thing. I think it's normal human, right? According to science and according to what I see in my life, it's normal, and I'm constantly changing. And I know that's the stove. I'm not gonna touch the stove. I'm not gonna mess with it. And I change. So ABC is awareness. What's my thought? Where am I at? And B is exhale. And C, celebrate. I made a different choice. I'm conscious enough to get myself into a different reality, different path, a different room than where I would have gone, where I would have ended up.
Yeah.
Because our thoughts get this body into that one path. As soon as I change, I go to a different path. And if I'm changing it, that means I'm changing exactly how I want. That means I'm drawing my reality. I'm creating my reality exactly how I want. So I'm the thinker of my thought. I'm the creator of my life. Because what I think I behave is going to get me. That means if I'm saying, oh, I'm not going to get the parking space, or I'm going to get a cold, or this person going to treat me like this, or plan B, I'm going to get that. What we think is what we get. Or I could say, I'm going to get that parking spot. Oh, my cold is going to go away in 2 days. Oh, my back pain is no longer bothering me. Oh, I'm going to run 2 miles today. I'm the believer, and that happens.
I love that. Be the believer and the
Yeah,
creator of
I
life.
said
Yeah.
the body is the car, and you're the driver. You could take wherever you want.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's thoughts. It's thoughts.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Navin. How are you feeling? We've been here an hour and we managed to get through the first two.
Perfect. I think this is perfect. This is
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a little bit of an outro just so we've got some for a couple of those. So, thank you so much, Dr. Navin, for all of your wonderful knowledge and attention and energy. One thing that I wanted to ask is how do people find you? Are you online, or if people want to get in contact with you, how do we get in touch with you?
Thank you, Jazz. I think the best way to get in touch with me will be my website. It's really great website. Just says, a little bit about how I practice. There's a contact form you could fill out. So it's Navin Health. If you Google my, whole name or Navin Health, it'll come out. That would be the best way to get in touch with me. And Jazz, thank you so much for making a part of this, making me a part of this. Thank you so much for creating an opportunity for me to share, and thank you so much for creating an opportunity for people to listen and learn from. Right, like people are looking and searching, and you're giving this amazing guest and giving everyone an amazing opportunity to learn and giving them a choice, another way. So thank you so much for amazing thing that you're doing to everyone. Amazing service.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much too. I'm grateful for life and knowledge and to be here, and I truly believe in your work as a mother and as a community leader on this side of the world. I really want people to know more about this stuff because it's really good and it can be free too. So I'm super excited to continue this conversation with you, and thank you guys for watching. Keep watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.